Augustine is seeing a big increase in panhandling. It's front and center on the busiest tourist streets in the small city.
Merchants say it's impacting their business and the city's reputation as well. First Coast News' Jessica Clark reports the city manager is proposing a plan to address panhandling now.
In 1980, we opened our first store here.
Richard Pinto owns Sunburst Crystal on St. George Street in St. Augustine.
It's a great town.
Recently, he and most people in St. Augustine have seen more panhandlers and homeless people.
I think there's been a big uptick.
Homeless people asking for money are lined up along St. George Street, taking up many of the benches or just sleeping on the ground. This is the busiest tourist area in the city. And while Pinto is calm about the issue,
Usually the people who are on St. George Street or in the surrounding few blocks are not aggressive.
Many other merchants say the explosion of panhandling is hurting the city's #1 industry, and that's tourism.
I'm a reporter with Channel 12, First Coast News.
I spoke with Danny, a homeless panhandler on St. George Street, to understand.
Why are you out here?
Just the hurricane had come through and messed me up, and I'm just now getting my license and everything back together to where I can start looking for work again.
And just like businesses like to be in high traffic areas, panhandlers do as well because there's more opportunity to receive money.
We're traveling just looking for work.
The city manager says panhandling has increased because people are displaced by hurricanes. The hurricane affected service providers like the homeless shelter St. Francis House,
which is only at a third of its operating capacity.
And he says legally the courts have
ruled against cities from being able to enforce panhandling law.
Reagan plans to unveil a plan next week to reduce panhandling and get the homeless the help they need. It would include reworking the city's panhandling law, discourage people from giving to panhandlers, and educate homeless about outreach programs. Danny told me that's what he needs.
More resources for food and stuff like that.
More resources.
As for Pinto,
And I hope we can come to some way of helping people so that everybody comes out ahead.
in St. Augustine, Jessica Clark, First Coast News on your side.